What's going on, y'all? My name is Tanner. For those of you that don't know me, I am covering all things students over at the Fleming Island campus. And I'm really excited. I get to come and talk to you guys about week 2 of our Love-Hate series. And this is good. So I don't always get to talk to, Mandarin or River City kids. So I'm really excited that we're actually getting to do this and being able to come together and just dive into the Word and let, different people talk to different groups. And it's been good. So I want to ask you a question real quick. How many of you have ever been thankful that our friend has spoken up about us being in an awkward situation? I mean, if we really think about it, we've all been there, right? Like we've had a friend, kind of whisper to us, "Hey dude, you've got ketchup on your forehead." Now, I don't know how it got there, but you've got ketchup on your forehead. Or, "Hey dude, your fly's undone." Or, "Hey, did you know that you've got gum in your hair?" Or, dude, you've got toilet paper hanging from the back of your shirt. Again, don't know how it got there, but I think we've all been thankful that our friends have been able to speak up in those situations. Now, we've all kind of had those small situations, but I think when really thinking about it, we've been thankful that our friends have spoken up about the bigger things in our lives. You see, yeah, we get ketchup in our hair or toilet paper hanging from our shirt or whatever, but it's when things get really serious that I think that we're all thankful that our friends are speaking up about those things. You see, it's one thing to cover those small things, but when things get serious, "Hey dude, I don't think that relationship that you're in is really that good for you. Hey, I don't think that decision that you're making, I don't think that group that you're about to go and hang out with is really the best for you. Hey dude, I heard how you were talking to that girl, or I heard how you were talking to that guy, and that relationship is really toxic." Or "Hey dude, did you know that that person's got a really bad background, and maybe that is not the best fit for you." Now we've all been there, and those situations are where we feel completely different. I mean, speaking up about situations like this is where it gets really difficult. So we usually just try to avoid those conversations altogether, right? But have you ever asked yourself why? I mean, maybe we don't want to ruin those friendships that we're in because we might make that person mad by speaking up. Maybe we feel like we're getting in their business and we shouldn't. Or maybe we're the one doing, or we have done some of those things in the past. Maybe we have dated those unhealthy people. Maybe we have consumed that illegal substance potentially, and so we don't want to speak up because we might feel like we're a hypocrite. Or maybe we just don't feel like that person will listen. I know for me, I've had situations where I just become friends with that person, and so I feel like I'm kind of not far along in our friendship to where I can really speak up, and so I kind of keep my mouth shut. Or maybe you just don't really know how to say it. I've been there too. "Dude, I'm so worried about you, but I don't know what to say, so I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut." And for some of you, you might actually be in the opposite side of this entire situation. Maybe you're not afraid to say anything. Maybe you've got no problem telling people exactly how you feel or exactly what you think about someone or whatever. Like, you're just gonna speak and you don't care who's in the way, you don't care who's gonna get hurt, you're ready to talk, right? But what if we could learn a different way to approach those conversations? What if we knew a way to be helpful and kind, and we didn't really hurt people in those interactions? What if there was a way to have those difficult conversations and they actually bring up something good in response? So here's one thing. No one wants to really be known as a hater, right? Whether you're that person who's not afraid to say anything, or if you're even someone who has a hard time, bringing something up. Either way, we don't want to get viewed as a hater, no matter what side we're on. But we have to know how to love and treat other people. So when it comes to being a friend, who looks out for others, how do we make sure that we are handling it the right way? So last week we talked about, all about love, right? How should we love people? And who wouldn't want to have that reputation of being someone who's loving? No matter how tough we want to appear, or how trendy, hating on people might be right now, we all know it's better to have a good reputation for loving people rather than having that reputation for being that hater. But if love is the goal, then how are we supposed to handle it when someone is literally doing something bad or dangerous or just, let's be honest, just plain stupid? Maybe we should just avoid them, right? See, this seems to be the way that we're supposed to behave. We're all just supposed to be okay with someone's choices. We're all supposed to be just okay with someone, making those decisions because, it's their life. And, who are we to judge, right? I've done stupid stuff, so who am I to judge if someone else does that? See, I think deep down, we all know that that's not the case, especially when it comes to the people that mean the most to us, especially when it comes to people that we are closest to. See, what do we do then? I want to take a look at, some verses in Galatians where Paul actually talks about this very thing. So he, in a letter to a church, in Galatia, where modern day Turkey is now, Paul actually gave insight to this very topic. He says in chapter 6, verse 1, "Dear brothers and sisters, if another believer is overcome by some sin, you who are godly should gently and humbly help that person back onto the right path. And be careful not to fall into the same temptation yourself." So what's he saying? See, Paul is saying that if the Galatians have any friends who share the same values as them or anything like that, and they slip up and do something that might be harmful, then our responsibility is to help that person to get right back on track. See, in other words, he's saying that you and I should actually go further than just saying something in a conversation. See, we should actually help someone get back to be in the best place that they can be, on track with what God is actually saying, not just what we're saying. You see, there's a lot that Paul actually is not saying here too. So he is not saying that you're personally responsible for someone else's decisions. He's not saying that you should put yourself in a position where you might be harmed and all of this just to keep someone else safe. He's not saying that at all. See, we need to be wise in these situations, and that's a must. But the point is, according to Paul, with humility and gentleness, you and I can help people who are struggling with making poor decisions and getting back on the right path. Verse 2 goes on to say, "Share each other's burdens. In this way, obey the law of Christ." So how do we get them back on track, right? See, we need to carry each other's burdens. So think about it this way. In a world of, let's say, fitness training, right? We all have, a spotter, which is someone where if we're trying to lift something and things just get too heavy, we have someone else there to help us carry the weight. And that is kind of how we are supposed to be when we're helping someone else through a tough situation. We're kind of supposed to be their spotter, right? We can kind of come alongside them and help them carry the weight until they get on the right path. See, Paul cared really deeply about the people of Galatia, which is why he wrote exactly what he did. See, he knew that the most loving thing to do is not going to be the easiest thing to do, but we owe it to each other, to the people that we love, to the people that are important to us, to speak up. And look, I know it's tough, but we need each each other. See, not just to point out what we're doing wrong, just to make someone look bad or whatever. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But to come alongside someone and to help them carry the burden of getting back to the place that they need to be. So in other words, Jesus's followers do much more than just speak up about something that's wrong. You see, they're not just pointing fingers. They are sharing burdens, and that's what we need to do. We cannot just be, pointing someone's issues out. We need to, again, come alongside someone and help them. We need to share their burdens with them. And some of us might be sitting here right now and be like, dude, I am afraid to speak up. I am not interested in having that tough conversation. I just want to get along with everyone. I just want to, be friendly and just have fun and whatever. But, am I showing love to someone when I'm handling it that way? If I'm avoiding all of the tough conversations, if I am avoiding, speaking up when I know that I need to, am I really showing that person the love that I need to be showing them? That's what we need to be asking ourselves. You see, love pushes us to talk about the tough stuff. See, and love pushes us to talk about those tough things in a kind and compassionate way. Not just to call someone out, but we need to be kind and compassionate, and that's what love teaches us to do. It shares the burden by caring about, the person who's carrying it, and not just about, ourselves. So what is that supposed to look like? So how can we begin to put this into practice from here on out? You see, some of you might be thinking about a friend that you might need to go and talk to about something that, that they might be involved in. You see, well, if you're going to choose to be known for your love for others, and you're going to make that jump and go talk to them about those tough things, then when it comes to what you say and how you help others, we need to remember this. We need to let love be our filter. And you already know how filters work, right? With all of us on, social media, Snapchat, whatever it is that you use, we all know that filters kind of, it changes what we see, right? And so when we kind of filter, when we let love be our filter, we help someone make a different choice than what they have been making. You see, so we do it even if it makes us feel totally awkward in that moment. When we encourage someone else to change his or her behavior, then we need to do it in a loving way. So what exactly, should a filter of love be applied to? So here's just a couple ideas. We need to let love be the filter of our involvement. So when we aren't sure of if we should get involved in a friend situation or anything like that, we need to ask ourselves, what's the most loving thing that I can do? Use this question as the filter of your next step. And we need to let love be the filter for our words. So we need to be asking ourselves, okay, how would I want someone to speak to me? Okay, what would I want that person to say to me if I was in a situation like this? And third, we need to let love be the filter for our actions and our reactions. Because if we have friends, that are having a hard time, keeping their lives headed in the right direction, then chances are that they're not going to need your words. They're going to need your reactions on what they're doing. So we need to ask ourselves, how would I want someone, to live out their love if I was in their situation? And we just need to let love be our filter. So when we wind up sharing, our burdens with someone, we need to share the burdens of those we love. Because a filter of love just might actually change the entire direction of someone's life for the better. And that could last forever. So let's be people who let love be our filter. That not negative things, not negative reactions or throwing shade or anything like that. Let love be our filter, so that we can help those that we love, family, friends, whatever. So we can let those stay headed in the best directions of our lives. Let's pray. God, thank you for today. Thank you for your love and your grace and just what you've been teaching us throughout this series. God, it's so good to be able to come together as a group, to be able to come together as friends, as family, and just be able to be transparent and talk about things, hey, I'm struggling with this, and for us not to be able to fear, negative judgment, or for us not to be able to fear, being disapproved or whatever. God, I just want to lift up anyone that might be hurting right now. I just want to lift up anyone that might, have, uncertainty about something, and I just pray that they're not running from that uncertainty, but they're running to that uncertainty, because the only certain is you. I pray that if they have any anxiety, any worries about anything, that they just take those problems to you, because you are the ultimate answer. I just want to pray that, if anyone does not know you right now, and if they have any questions about you, that they run to you with those questions. That they go and they ask, a small group leader, they go and they ask, a ministry leader or whoever it might be about you, because you are, the ultimate answer. And when every single path might end that doesn't involve you, God, you are the only way and you're the only truth. And God, I just pray that everyone that might have any uncertainty, they just look to you through all of it. I pray all this in your name. Amen. Hey, just want to give you guys a quick update. After all of our Devos, we go ahead and jump into small groups. And if you're not in any of our small groups right now, we want to get you involved. So hit us up on our Instagram, hit us up on our Facebook pages, or even drop a comment below, and we would love to get you guys involved. See you later.